All right, everyone. Today we're going to look at Metaplanet Inc. This is a Bitcoin Treasury company. And surprisingly to me, it hasn't been moving too much. As I say that, I guess it's up 15% in the past month. But it hasn't been moving too much in correlation to how Bitcoin has been moving. Bitcoin, I think, is around 81 or 82,000 right now. It's had a pretty big rise over the past month or so. And so I just thought Metaplanet was interesting. It's one of the Bitcoin treasury companies that I don't know too much about that I figured I would go and look at. So I tried finding their filings on the SEC website. I think they filed differently because they're in Japan. It's kind of the Japan markets. Even the market cap is in Japanese currency, the yen. So this one's a little different, so I figured I'd take a look at it and see what we can find about it. But we'll rely heavily on MSN's website, and then we'll probably ask AI a couple of things. So I'm going to check. The main thing that I care about here is going to actually be the balance sheet, and then the statement of cash flows. And the reason why I care about this is because you can see that they actually do not have any long-term debt as of 2025, which is nice, because it means that they don't have to worry about that should Bitcoin struggle. But the other thing that I'm seeing here is that they have a lot of shareholders' equity in this, and they obviously do a lot of dilution to buy their Bitcoin. Now, a lot of people are going to point that that's bad and it hurts existing shareholders and whatnot. Bitcoin treasury companies have a pitch where they're increasing Bitcoin per share, where if the MNAV is over 1, they will issue shares and dilute to then buy Bitcoin, and technically you're getting more Bitcoin per share that is being issued. That's kind of, I think, the math that they do. But right here you can see you have almost no debt. We can check the statement of cash flows here. And the reason why I want to look at this is because you can look at the financing cash flow right here. And you can see it's nothing really in 2020, not really anything in 2021. Scales up massively in 2022. Well, I shouldn't say that. It doubles. Has this weird negative time, and then you'll see in 2024, this is where they start doing massive dilution. $22 billion, and then $545 billion in 2025. So lots of outstanding shares, and you can see that here. I bet if we were to ask, how have the outstanding shares changed for MTPLF stock over the past 3 years? Look at this. So it went from 76 million shares in 2022 to 1.14 billion shares in 2025. So share count has increased. Look, it kind of says it right here, 3 times in 2025 alone. But the reason why they're doing it is it's because they're buying additional Bitcoin. So similar to Monster. Let's just see here. Yeah, here's this Bitcoin per share argument, where, if they're acquiring more Bitcoin per what they issue, then it's better. So this stock, I view this stock as, a lot of people will see this as bad, and it's not necessarily bad, because they're raising all this cash and then they're using it to buy Bitcoin. So it's not like they're throwing it away, unless you think buying Bitcoin is throwing it away. Some people might think that. But if you don't, then and if you think Bitcoin's going to go up, then what you're seeing is that this company is massively increasing its leverage in relation to Bitcoin. So it really comes down to, do you think Bitcoin's going to go up or down? Which is why I'm slightly surprised it hasn't moved that much since Bitcoin has been going up. Their average cost per Bitcoin is like 100K around there, so they're still down on that. But if you think that Bitcoin will go up and keep going up and will, be a part of the financial system, it already is, but continue to grow into that, then that's, this is kind of what you're counting on. So, it's interesting, but what I do want to see here is what is their cash burn. I don't care because this net profit's going to be messed up by, well, it's going to be affected obviously by the present value of the Bitcoin. So what I want to see is I want to see the free cash flow here. Uh, Looks like it's positive and has been positive for the past couple of years. Let's just confirm this. How much cash does MTPLF burn every quarter? Because this is cash that's not being used to buy Bitcoin. Okay, so historical cash burn before Bitcoin Treasury was 75 million yen quarter. Okay. So operationally, Metaplanet is currently closer to cash flow break even or mildly positive, which is good. Burning an enormous amount of capital into Bitcoin accumulation, which we explained earlier. Whereas, like, if you think that buying Bitcoin is a waste, then you wouldn't want this. Just creating a perception of burning cash, even though most of that balance sheet is balance sheet expansion rather than operating losses. So, I think that in terms of Bitcoin treasury companies, this one is interesting as of right now, at least, because there's a lot of debate going around over you're diluting your shareholders and burning money and all that sort of stuff. And well, that's not totally true. It's not like they're raising billions of dollars and then throwing into the trash can, like a lot of other stocks do. But they're issuing these shares and they're buying Bitcoin with it. So it really comes down to, do you think Bitcoin's going to go up or down with this? And then we've kind of put other things out of the side. They don't have debt, so you don't have to worry about that. The cash burn is pretty small, so that means that when they are issuing shares, the money is going towards buying Bitcoin, not paying, people or paying for an operations industry that's burning money or anything like that. So this one's interesting, and it it's Bitcoin. I want to see, is this on? Okay, let's just look at the last month. I don't like this view. I don't like this view. I'm gonna go and see. Look at the summary, and if I look over the past 1 month, we're up 15%. Past 3 months, down 11%. Well, let me look up Bitcoin here. Yes, it will. So over the past 3 months, Bitcoin is up 11%, and over the past month, it's up 17%. So what's weird to me is that right now, Bitcoin is actually outperforming Metaplanet because it's still down 10%. Whereas some of these other Bitcoin treasury companies, look at this. This ASST has outperformed Bitcoin over the past 3 months and way outperformed Bitcoin. Look at this, up 60% in the past month. So what that tells me is something weird's going on with Metaplanet, because Metaplanet has not had that same kind of momentum that some of these other Bitcoin treasury companies have. MSTR is the biggest and most popular one. Look at this, 1 month up almost 50%, 3 months up 40%. So, definitely kind of more leverage. But what's strange is that if you were to look at the largest Bitcoin Treasury companies, it's Strategy. Metaplanet's number 4. And it's not too far behind number 2 and 3. So it's a pretty large Bitcoin holder. And by the way, Mara, this is more like a miner. This is a Bitcoin miner, and they actually sold Bitcoin recently, and they have a lot of debt. So they're, their own thing. I don't know too much about this XXI. I guess we could look at that real quick. How is it doing? How is it doing? Yeah, past 3 months up 30%, up 35% past month. So yeah, they're all performing, but for some reason Metaplanet is not. So that makes me think like, well, maybe Metaplanet's the undervalued one. But maybe there's something I'm missing. Why have Bitcoin Treasury companies like MSTR, ST, and XI gone up so much in the past month following past month and past 3 months following Bitcoin and MTPLF has lagged behind. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing here. Dilution fatigue. Okay. Okay, these guys are benefiting from smaller float. Share count has exploded. What is the share count? So shares outstanding 650 million. XXI, what is it for MTPLF? Shares outstanding 1.3 billion, which is a lot. What is ASST? Only 73 million. That's pretty low. Yeah, so share, and we always talk about that in other videos. The lower the shares outstanding is, the more it can move. But yeah, that one's interesting. So I don't know. I'll let you guys, take. And nope, this is not ASST. I just want to make sure. Metaplanet. You'll. Excuse me. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think about this guy, and I will see you guys in the next one.